Welcome back to the Lead with Hope podcast. I'm your host, Brandi Kelly, and I want to start today's episode with a question. Have you ever felt completely paralyzed by the idea of starting something new, of building a brand new habit? Maybe as 2026 started, you wanted to exercise every day, or maybe your goal was to write a book. Maybe it was something more practical like getting your mornings under control. But just the sheer size of that goal felt overwhelming. Well, you're not alone. Before we jump in, a quick thank you to Craig Williams, founder of Commissary, our legacy partner. If you have ever felt like your story, your message, or your brand needs clarity, Commissary exists to help you with exactly that. They work with people who want their voice to reflect their values and their purpose. You can find their link in today's show notes and on the Spark Hope website. Thanks to Commissary for their belief in the power of story to create connection, clarity, and hope. One of the biggest searchable problems for so many busy leaders today is simply how to build habits when you're overwhelmed. We often think that we need to summon incredible willpower for a total overhaul, a dramatic life-altering change, but that is simply just not true. You do not need more willpower to build great habits. What you need is a tiny anchor. You just need a tiny anchor. And today we're going to dive into what I call the power of micro actions. It's a secret weapon that resilient leaders use who don't have time for this complete overhaul. This concept is anchored deeply in our habits pillar, and it's all about making small changes continually, and it is quite easy when you look at it. This idea that small change leads to massive results is a core principle of modern behavioral science popularized by James Clear in his book Atomic Habits. Clear's entire philosophy is built on the power of tiny 1% improvements, and it's the application of the Kaizen method, or small, continuous improvement. Clear also gives us a simple, powerful framework. He talks about the 4 laws of behavior change. Make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying. Our micro actions strategy that I'm going to talk to you about today, it directly applies to 2 of these laws. Make it obvious and make it easy. We need that easy button in our lives. And this is where the technique of habit stacking comes in. James Clear writes that the best way to build a new habit is to figure out when and where it's going to happen. Be specific. Our problem usually is that we try to build this new habit in a vacuum, and that just simply doesn't work. So habit stacking is a formula that makes this habit something like, after a current habit that you're doing, something you're already doing today, I will add this new micro action. This is the entire philosophy behind the micro action. We're not asking you to carve out 30 extra minutes every day. We're just asking you to identify one small existing habit that you can stack your most desired new action onto. So for instance, something that I might use is my existing habit of making coffee or brushing my teeth, or in the morning sitting down at my desk. That is the tiny anchor for the new behavior. Very simple. Now to see this in action, I'm going to share a quick story with you. I recently worked with a principal, and I'm going to call him Marcus for his privacy. Marcus was completely burnt out. He believed that he needed an entire overhaul in order to improve his leadership presence. And one of the goals that he wanted to start implementing was meditation. His goal was 30 minutes of meditation every morning. And guess what? Every morning he failed. Something got in the way. He felt guilty. He felt defeated. His biggest problem was trying to build this new habit in a vacuum. It didn't have an anchor. And when we talked, his morning was already filled with things that he had to do. Things like what I was talking about earlier, making coffee, brushing your teeth, checking your emails, all of those non-negotiables. So we applied the formula that I mentioned previously, and I asked him to try this micro routine instead. After I turn on my Keurig to make my first cup of coffee in the morning, I'm just going to take one 60-second tiny anchor, a simple starting place. And that's it. It took 1 minute a day. The new habit of mindfulness was now stacked onto an existing habit, making it incredibly easy. It didn't require willpower, just a simple shift in timing. And within 2 weeks, Marcus was consistently taking that minute-long breath, wasn't meditating for 30 minutes, but he was successfully stacking a new behavior. And this is what he realized. You don't need more willpower to build great habits. You just need a tiny anchor. So this is your challenge for this week. Think about a goal and shrink it down until it feels almost ridiculous. If you want to write more, the goal may be, after I open my laptop, I'm going to type one sentence. If you want to be more present with your team, before I speak in a meeting, I will place my pen down and count to 3. Remember the powerful reframe example. Micro actions are secret weapons of resilient leaders. We're not looking for perfection here. We're just looking for consistency. And the goal is to never miss twice. Let me say that again. The goal is never miss twice. That small recovery is what builds long-term identity and resilience. Before we wrap up today, I do have a quick announcement for all you leaders who are ready to take the next step in your development. Join us for the next EmpowerHER Mastermind session. We're bringing together a select group of resilient women leaders for a powerful session on scaling your influence without compromising your well-being. So don't miss out on this community event. You can find the sign-up link in the show notes of this episode. Secure your spot today. Let's pause for just a moment because I want to tell you about a partner who truly aligns with the heart of this podcast, Conversary. Here on Lead with Hope, we talk a lot about clarity of purpose, clarity of voice, and clarity of direction. And that is exactly where Conversary comes in. They help leaders, educators, and change makers uncover the story behind their work and share it in a way that feels honest, meaningful, and deeply aligned with who they are. If you have ever felt the nudge to write a book, refine your message, or build a brand that actually reflects your values, not just your resume, Conversary doesn't rush you or box you in. They walk alongside you, helping you share your story with intention and integrity. You can learn more by clicking their link in the show notes or visiting them through the Spark Hope website. A big thank you to Craig Williams and Conversary for being a legacy sponsor of this podcast, and for investing in stories that matter. Because when we share our stories, when we share them with clarity and with hope, real change happens. This entire approach aligns with one of our core hope pillar connections, habits. These are the 3 hope habits to lead with clarity that I'm going to give you today. Hope habit number 1, anchor. Stop trying to build habits in thin air. Anchor them to an existing non-negotiable habit. Hope habit number 2, shrink. Don't start so big. Shrink that habit down to a 2-minute version of the behavior and start there. Hope habit 3, stack. Use the formula after a current habit. I will start implementing this week. Identify your one small existing habit that you can stack your most desired new action onto. And don't worry about that total overhaul. Just find the tiny anchor, stack the next small piece of change onto it, and that's all. Now go find your micro action, and I'll talk to you next week. That's a wrap for today's episode of Lead with Hope. Remember, the world needs your leadership, and change starts with you. Fuel your life with hope, embrace your purpose, and shine your light for others. If this episode inspired you, I'd be so grateful if you could take a moment to give us a 5-star rating and share it. Every review helps spread hope and empowers more leaders to rise. Thanks for listening, and until next time, keep leading with hope.